It's 10 a.m. This is Wednesday. I'll start again. It's 10 a.m. This is Wednesday, May 20th, 2026. The day set for the May meeting of the Nevada Commission on Ethics. We'll start with the roll call. Chair Scherer is present. Vice Chair Wallen.
Here.
Commissioner Langton. Here. Commissioner Miller. Here. Commissioner Moran.
Here.
Commissioner Pancoast.
Here.
Commissioner Reynolds is excused. Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Staff, Executive Director Armstrong.
Here.
Commission Counsel Bassett.
Here.
Acting Associate Counsel Hazlett.
Here.
Senior Legal Researcher Pani.
Here.
Outreach and Education Officer Harvey.
Here.
Executive Assistant Saldana.
Here.
And would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to start by welcoming our new commissioner, Commissioner Pancoast. Welcome to the commission. We're pleased to have you join us. Thankful to the Legislative Commission for acting promptly to make sure that we weren't short-handed. So welcome. If you'd like to say a few words or introduce yourself, you're welcome to do that, or we can just move on as you desire.
Go ahead and move on. We've got business to do.
Executive Director Armstrong, has the commission received any public comment by email to be read into the record?
We have not received any public comment by email to be read into the record.
Are there any members of the public who are attending virtually who want to provide public comment?
Oh, Elvira Saldana, for the record, no one has indicated they would like to provide public comment.
And we don't have anyone here in person with us in the room seeking to provide public comment. So that brings us to item number 3, which is approval of the minutes of the March 18th, 2026 meeting. And commissioners have any changes to the minutes as presented? I have one change, just in my comments about Commissioner Lowry. I think I noted that she frequently makes good points that force me to think. I think the way it's worded isn't as complimentary as I intended.
Okay.
Other than that, I have no other comments. Any other comments on the minutes?
I'll move to approve the March 18th minutes with the correction.
I'll second.
And so we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the minutes are approved. That brings us to the approval of the minutes of the March 9th, 2026 Legislative Committee meeting. This is with Commissioner Reynolds absent, this is a vote of 2. Hopefully we don't have a split vote. But I'll turn it over to Vice Chair Wallen.
Right. Are there any additions or corrections to the?
No additions or corrections. I move to approve the minutes of the March 9th Legislative Committee meeting.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Brings us to item number 5. Discussion and potential approval of the proposed stipulated dismissal agreement concerning ethics complaint number 26-007C regarding Lisa Motley, former Vice President of Sports and Special Events, Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Myself and Commissioner Moran served on the review panel for this matter, and therefore we are precluded from participating in any further proceedings pursuant to NRS 281A.220 sub 4. So I will ask Vice Chair Wallen to preside over this matter.
Thank you. At this time, I want to ask if there are any disclosures.
Hi, good morning. I'm going to abstain from this matter, and the reason is that our firm, Brownstein, does work for LVCVA. I'm also a frequent volunteer with Miss Motley. So while I don't think it actually meets the criteria of a disclosure conflict of interest, I think it probably warrants abstention based on the appearance of improprieties.
Thank you. Right, at this time, I would like to ask the council for the parties to introduce themselves.
Ross Armstrong, Executive Director representing myself.
I'm Dominic Gentile and I'm an attorney in Las Vegas and I represent Lisa Motley.
Thank you. Executive Director Armstrong, please give us your presentation.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. On about January 8th of 2026, the commission initiated this ethics complaint regarding Mrs. Motley and investigated this case, primarily dealing with some information and contracts and Ms. Motley's ex-husband. At the conclusion of the investigation, it was determined that Ms. Motley did not have a substantially similar relationship with her ex-husband to trigger a commitment in a private capacity. And so the vast majority of the investigated allegations were dismissed at that time, leaving only the allegation regarding 281A 400 subsection 5, which is the sharing of non-public information as the remaining allegation. Following the panel, the parties engaged in a settlement conference where additional facts and arguments were shared. And at the conclusion of that settlement conference, the decision, the agreement was to come before the commission and ask that in this matter be dismissed, but that the commission issue a letter of caution pursuant to its statutes so that Ms. Motley can have some guidance on how to, if she returns to public service, on some of the ethical standards involved in this case. So the recommendation today before you is that that one remaining item that is before you, the only remaining item that survived the review panel, be dismissed today, but that the commission issue a letter of caution to Ms. Motley, and that would conclude this case.
Mr. Gentile, do you have anything else to add?
No, I'm in agreement with that statement.
Okay. Fellow commissioners, questions? Third party? Right?
No.
Then I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the stipulated agreement as presented by the parties and further direct the commission council to finalize the agreement in appropriate legal form.
Right? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Mr. Gentile, I want to thank you and your client for assisting our staff and taking care of this matter in a very efficient way. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bring us to item number 6, discussion and potential approval of an issuance of an opinion following completion of a stipulated consent order concerning ethics complaint number 24-1-130C regarding Ronald Boscovich, Nye County Commissioner, State of Nevada. Counsel for the parties, please identify yourselves.
Ross Armstrong, Executive Director representing myself.
Counsel for Mr. Bos, go ahead.
Rebecca Brew, Lax Outlaw, representing Mr. Boscovich.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Executive Director Armstrong, please tell us about this particular matter.
Yes, on August 26th of 2024, the commission received this ethics complaint regarding Mr. Boscovich, who is a commissioner on the Nye County Board of County Commissioners. The allegations primarily focused on a lack of disclosure and abstention. Mr. Boscovich has his ex-husband serves as the county manager now for Nye County, and his daughter works for the Nye County District Attorney's Office. And so the allegations revolved around not properly disclosing during matters regarding the budget. We investigated the case. At that time, Mr. Boscovich agreed to waive the review panel and go straight to the commission to enter a consent order. The consent order operates somewhat similar to the deferral agreements that the commission frequently does, where an individual agrees to a certain period of compliance and some items. In this case, it included Mr. Boscovich requesting an advisory opinion from the commission on how to handle things now that his ex-husband became the county manager. because that was a new factual development that we thought he could use some guidance on. Complete training and then not have any new complaints that got past a review panel. Mr. Boscovich complied with all the requirements of the consent order. Unlike a deferral agreement, the terms of the consent order said originally he was agreeing to a willful violation of the law. If he successfully completed the consent order, it would be reduced to a non-willful violation, and a full opinion would issue. And so the opinion before you today is consistent with the terms of that consent order. It provides a full opinion on disclosure and abstention issues that includes thorough analysis by the commission about when an ex-spouse may become a substantially similar relationship to a spouse, triggering a commitment in a private capacity. And the ultimate result for Mr. Boscovich is one violation of 281A 421, which is the disclosure rule, but that violation be deemed non-willful. So that is the ultimate result today, is that the consent order the commission agreed to a year ago triggers this opinion, a non-willful violation for Mr. Boscovich. And I'm happy to take any questions after Ms. Brew adds any commentary she may have.
Ms. Brew, anything to add?
Just very briefly, I just wanted to thank Mr. Armstrong and the other people who we worked together to come to this resolution. Mr. Boscovich, well, as many of these, this stemmed from a political situation with candidates running against each other, and he worked really, really hard to understand this and went above and beyond, in my opinion, seeking guidance. And so thank you, Mr. Armstrong, for working through this and allowing him this opportunity, because he was very, very concerned about it, and in good faith really wanted to learn. So thank you for that. And other than that, no, I don't have any other comments.
Thank you. Any questions from commissioners? Do we have a motion on this matter?
I move to vacate the stipulated consent order previously approved in this matter at the commission's April 2025 meeting, and to accept the stipulated opinion as presented by the parties. I further direct commission counsel to finalize the opinion in an appropriate legal form.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Moved by Vice Chair Wallen, seconded by Commissioner Langton. Do we have any comments or discussion before we call for the vote? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Seeing none opposed, so that matter passes unanimously. Ms. Brew, thank you very much.
Thank you, commissioners. I appreciate the work that you all do. Thank you.
Brings us to item number 7, discussion and potential approval of an update to meeting and attendance policy. Executive Director Armstrong.
Thank you, Chair. If you turn to this item in your packet 7, you'll see meeting and attendance policy that the commission has adopted for the commissioners. There was a request from Vice Chair Wallen that the policy be amended to have some provisions regarding remote meeting conduct. And so you'll find those on page 2 and 3 of the policy for your review. There's some blue language there towards the end. We wanted to, what we didn't want is for the policy to create potential open meeting law issues for you. If there was some issue where someone couldn't meet these requirements and it would cause there to not be a quorum and the whole meeting collapse. So that is why that language was added, but I'm happy to take any questions or feedback on changes on the language.
Any comments or questions on the proposed changes to the attendant meetings and attendance policy?
You want a motion?
Seeing none,
All right. I move to approve the proposed updates to the meeting and attendance policy.
do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second the motion.
Second from Commissioner Smith. Motion by Vice Chair Wallen. Any discussion on the motion before we vote?
When does this take effect? Right
Good
after
question.
we vote?
I think it would be immediately, but you,
Okay.
and I think on the policy itself, we said May 20th was the effective date, so that would be today.
Okay.
Seeing no further comments, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Seeing none opposed, passes unanimously.
Can we ask Commissioner Moran to go on camera and unmute when we vote?
We can, if Commissioner Moran, if
Hi, I'm here. Have I violated the new policy just yet?
all right. That'll bring us to the next item of business, agenda item number 8. Report by the Executive Director on agency status and operations. Executive Director Armstrong.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. There's a written report in your materials. In addition, there is an attachment. So the attachment relates to the desk review of our ARPA grant. I included that because I think this is the first time the commission ever had grant funding. And the desk review said we did good. We did a good job in administering that grant and fulfilling all our obligations under that federal grant. So that is great news that gets closed out appropriately. So great work on that particular funding. That funding for the commissioners who were not around at the time helped launch our Nevada Ethics online platform. And then we were able to convince the legislature that that was a worthy project to convert to actual regular state funding. So, but that was under Governor Sisolak. They said, hey, this is your future budget ask. Why don't we start now with some grant funding and get you going? And so that was that. And there were no material findings, and they kept saying lots of times it wasn't an audit. I was like, this is an audit. But they had no issues with our paperwork or any of that. Pretty easy grant in the one vendor, one contract left. But so that's closed and good. I wanted to let you know that the Governor Lombardo has invested in leadership training for agency directors and leadership. And so that has started. I have about 48 hours of classroom time and then 6 hours with a leadership coach that we'll be going through now until October. The first couple sessions have been great so far. Presenting next week to the interim committee on legislative operations and elections at the legislature. Commission Counsel Bassett and I will be providing testimony from their Las Vegas hearing on Friday next week. And then we have our 2 new commissioners appointed, Commissioner Pancoast, who's joining us today, and then Commissioner St. Jules will start. Her first meeting will be in August, but she takes office in June upon the departure of Commissioner Wallen. There's some strategic plan things, I think the thing to know, the frustrating thing in the whole report is that we went through the procurement process for a case management system. Commission Counsel Bassett reviewed the contract, signed the contract. Procurement realized they missed an email, and so we had to start the process over. So we should be meeting in the next 2 weeks to rank and select a vendor. So what we have done is we have a contract amendment in the works with PDI to have PDI for 6 months until December, which should make sure we have no time period where we have no case management system. That contract amendment also includes funding for the data conversion piece, which we were going to need to do. So once we get that contract amendment in place, we'll have no disruption of service, and we'll have the funding and mechanism set aside for the data conversion to the new system. So frustrating, but we're working through it on that one. And then I'll let Outreach Officer Harvey talk about the in-person training that we're doing this week that is new and fun. And then, the other highlights, I would say that the budget building is really cranking now. We're getting quick turnarounds and they want org charts and all this stuff. So that is going well. Meeting your selected budget priorities of a AA3, a legal intern, potential office relocation, those types of things. And then you'll see we got a payment in section. I'll give you a preview. This fiscal year, we had a substantial increase in the amount of fines collected. So that'll show, we had kind of a low year last year at a couple thousand. We're close to 20,000 for this fiscal year. So that'll be kind of a big story out of that. We have our upcoming meetings, June 17th in Elko. If you have not completed the RSVP form that we sent out, please do so today so we can coordinate forms, or if you replied with information, we have that information. And then August 19th, we'll be back here in Reno. So that is it for my report. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions?
It's just too bad about the case management system. I mean, we've been talking about this system for years.
Yes, it was not a happy Friday when I got that call.
Other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item. Report on outreach and education, item number 9. Outreach and Education Officer Harvey.
Thank you, Chair. This is Sam Harvey for the record. Alrighty, before I get started, a quick opening for our commissioners. If anybody has lots of connections on social media, particularly LinkedIn, and would like to collaborate with me to invite your followers to follow the commission's page, feel free to reach out. And thank you to our commissioners that have already done so. All right, I'll dive into education and most notably talk about the recent new approach to training we've done this year and our candidates and campaigns briefing. So starting with the former, we have, as of yesterday, offered our first open ethics training where anybody could register for that, which has been a really great opportunity upon good timing with the unveiling and use of our the new NeoGov replacement with NEATS system in that training platform as well, for supervisors to be able to easily assign our training along with all of the other required training their staff is required to complete. We had 20 people join us in Reno yesterday. We're looking at about 50 tomorrow at the LCB in Carson City, and closer to 75 at the moment in Las Vegas in September, with a plan to probably host another one in November in Las Vegas as well, just due to the demand. So that's been really exciting to see the response. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that continues to develop and expands the awareness of the commission as well. All right, so we had our third campaign related briefing recently, earlier this month. This is the second one for candidates during the election cycle. And then January of 25, I believe we did one that was you got elected, now what should you do? So yeah, I think it went really well. We had 21 people attend virtually, with another 20 or so in the RSVP form, promised they were going to watch the recording. So we'll see how that goes. But it's great for that resource to exist not only on our YouTube, but on our Nevada Ethics Online platform, which that was related to the grant funding and continuation of the utilization of that as well. So that wraps up training for us. With regards to communications and outreach, along with the NeoGov expansion, we've gotten the opportunity to dramatically increase our newsletter subscriptions by being able to utilize that system and the networks that were relating through that. So we went from 1,700 people the last time to almost 23,000. So yeah, I sent an email to 23,000 people not too long ago. So yes, it's a deep breath. But yes, I'm really excited to be able to communicate on a very infrequent basis with that many people in the state system and continue to add more external public servants onto that as well. Okay. In case it's not something that you've noticed yet, all state websites are going through an integration into the new system. So if the website looks different, that is why. And you'll see in the report some of the benefits of that system we've experienced so far. Alrighty. When I made this report, we were at 399 total requests, including those from just requests for information, requests from the press, and public records requests. That's almost a 50% increase from last fiscal year. So just an update on that. But the percentages with regards to what is substantive versus not substantive and what we do and don't have records on has maintained fairly consistent. I believe that's all I had. Happy to take any comments or questions.
Questions for Outreach and Education Officer Harvey?
I just have to say how impressive it is that, you know, we went from 1,600 trained in the last fiscal year to 2,600 now. And with everything
The
else,
newsletter subscription.
yeah. Well, this is people trained, 1,600 to 2,608.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You're looking at the graph. Yep.
So that's very impressive. And you look back to 22, we only trained like 450. I mean, so kudos to you for doing that. Sounds like you're going to be probably doubling that number by the end of September, probably. I just have a question. How did you end up getting the article in the Senior Rescue magazine?
They reached out.
Oh,
Yeah. And it's an article that's in development. So we'll get that to them.
okay. Well, that's just more outreach to let people
Yeah.
know what we do.
They
and
reached
stuff.
out following our cases. They were interested in making sure their readership had a good understanding of our complaint process to help that education as well, which is really helpful and I think really fantastic.
Yeah, if you might make sure that they kind of understand the limits of our jurisdiction too.
Yeah, the limits of our jurisdiction, what our process actually entails, what we can and can't do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
What's
stuff like
expected
that.
in a complaint, that we need some
Mhm.
kind of evidence and.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the more we can educate the public, you know,
Mhm.
about what we can and can't do, the better.
Absolutely.
Good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, there.
I'll note too that when we expanded to the 22,000 recipients, there were only like 5 who clicked unsubscribe.
Yes, thank you.
So it's a very low rate of people who surprisingly got a newsletter article and, you know, so that means they either didn't read it or they found I'm gonna say they found the content helpful and said, yeah, I should get this on a frequent basis.
Did not click unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Other comments, questions before we move to the next item? Bring us then to item number 10. Discussion regarding commissioner direction on a reputational statement for the commission. Executive Director Armstrong. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's actually me.
Commission Council Bassett.
Ross gets one off.
Yeah.
So one of the commission's 4 goals in its strategic plan that it adopted is to maintain the public's trust in the commission. In order to meet this goal, one of the tasks we created was to develop a reputational goal for the commission so that we can then align the commission's activities to that goal. We can, you know, work on public relations related to that goal. We in trying to come up with what that should be, we've sought input from the staff, from commissioners, and we tried to solicit input from the public, you know, namely attorneys who appear before us, the civil government attorneys. But I'll be honest, we didn't get a lot of traction or feedback despite giving it a good effort. So what I want to discuss with you all today is what you think our reputational goal should be. I went and I looked at the information that commissioners had previously provided to me, and the things that I saw repeatedly was that we should be fair, consistent, nonpartisan, efficient, and follow the ethics law. So just as a starting place, those are things we've seen over and over. But I just wanted to solicit some feedback from all of you, and then I'll come back next month and present one for your approval, but just some feedback on what you all want and believe our reputation should be.
I think you just summed it up.
Those ones.
Those, I mean, for me, that's pretty much it. And that's why I made the comment about the article is, I think a lot of that is the public understanding what it is we do, what we can do, what our limitations are. I mean, you know, obviously we don't have any control over the judicial branch, for example, but we don't have any control over private sector people. And I think the better they understand exactly what we can and can't do, I think that helps overall with them understanding, yeah, we're trying to follow the law. Trying to do that as well and as fairly and as efficiently as we can. But there's some things we just can't do. They may be unethical, but they may not be contrary to the law. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any
So-
thoughts, Commissioner Wong?
So fair,
Consistent, nonpartisan, efficient, and follows the ethics and follows the law.
follows the law. Yeah. Yeah. Consistent, that's very important. You know, treat like. I don't have any others to add.
Any other thoughts that I should
Same.
incorporate?
That's a good summary.
Okay. Well, then I'll come back next month and I'll try to incorporate those into one statement and bring it back for you guys to approve or whatever you want. Thank you.
thank you. That brings us to item number 11. Discussion regarding commissioner direction on features and content of the upcoming annual report. This one's Executive Director Armstrong.
It is, thank you. We've included a copy of last year's annual report in your materials for you. This is the time of year where we start thinking about the annual report for our newer commissioners. If this is your first go with the annual report process, we do it by fiscal year. And so by June 30th, we'll have most of the data we need to do it and the narrative of the report. And so I want to just provide an opportunity at this point for any feedback on things we should consider as we're designing or including things in the report. Some feedback we had at the end of last year was that the hot topics, I think it was Commissioner Reynolds, talked about how it'd be nice to have kind of a longer write-up on some of that. And so we can think about how to do that, either include it as an appendix maybe with like 2 or 3 hot topics, more detail about the cases we saw. We typically have a paragraph. And so that may be helpful for folks as a resource, as an additional appendix to the report without trying to make the report too long itself. And so other than that, this is just an opportunity for commissioners to say if there's particular graphs or charts they really like or don't like, or if there's content we want to make sure we're communicating. The annual report, statutorily, it's a requirement that I provide a report to you as the commissioners. But what we have found is by publishing our annual report in the way that we do, it becomes a tremendous tool for spreading the word about what we do. When we go into a legislative hearing, we make sure every legislator there has a copy of the annual report with them. So it's a really effective way for us to tell our story in words and visuals each year. So that is, one of the main goals of the report.
Questions?
I just, I appreciate Commissioner Reynolds wanting maybe some more information on hot topics and stuff. The big fear that you have is when you start adding more stuff to the report and it gets so big, then you may as well not even publish it or take it around because people will not read it. They'll read something that's short. And our old annual report, it was super long, lots of wording. And I don't think anybody ever read it. If they did, they go, oh my God, I did when I read it, I like the fact that we've got graphs and charts. People like that, okay? And pictures, I think that that's important. So, expanding on the cases and things like that, it probably should be like in the appendix, right? And hot topics. So those are just my comments. I have to say that since Executive Director Armstrong has been here, this annual report has really changed and become a useful tool. And I really appreciate the hard work that he has put into it and also the hard work that our OEO Officer Harvey has put into it as well. So I know that they've been working on the report now. So just want to say thank you to that.
Other questions or comments? I think to the extent we can tie it in with our reputational goals as well,
Great idea.
probably makes sense.
Mhm. Good thing you brainstorm now.
Yeah, great. So what you'll see is at the August meeting, we'll have our first draft ready, and then at the next meeting, we'll approve it. We adjusted our regulatory code a little bit because it used to say by the second meeting of the fiscal year, the report is complete. And then we had like 2 or 3 years in a row with special emergency meetings in July, which made everything wild and crazy. And so our current one is that the annual report be produced by October. So you'll have that by October.
Item that, if there are no other comments or questions,
No,
item 12, review and possible approval of proposed adjustment to internal performance measures. Executive Director Armstrong.
Thank you. This is somewhat related to the annual report because we produce these as an exhibit. We have legislative performance measures, which are on the first page of the handout you see. Those are approved. We're not recommending any adjustments to those. We made adjustments 2 sessions ago, and I think those continue to be helpful measures for the legislature to understand. It's sort of interesting because we report them, but there's no actual budgetary impact based on them. So, but we really tried to make sure that the performance measures measured performance and the workloads were focused on workloads. The internal ones, which start on page 2 of that handout, those are ones where we've decided as a commission, this is data points we want to collect and take a look at, and this lets us know if we're doing the things that we say we do in terms of statutory timeframes and stuff. So when you look at the document, you'll see items that are highlighted in blue. Those are proposed adjustments or additions. I think the one where you see the most is the last time we did this, we were right at kind of the beginning of having an outreach and education officer. And so working with Officer Harvey, we've added some that really help reflect the performance of that particular function, the education and communication. So the ones in blue are proposed to either, adjust or add as new. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But with your approval, we'll start to collect this and report this data.
Questions, comments?
So when you've got here, time to resolve investigated cases.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure out how that's gonna move you or.
Yeah, so we collect the length of the investigation because we had previously seen where that was an issue. And where the commission had developed backlog in the past, it was in what I would call older stale cases. When I got here and really looked at it, it was a result of giving subjects extensions and extensions and extensions. This one really would capture the entire time that and we collect. So this captures from the time a complaint is filed to the time it's resolved. So you have your hearing, you do your stipulation, that type of thing. We currently capture complaint cases received and resolved within a 12-month period.
Right.
We know that the vast majority of those are dismissed at the jurisdictional phase. So this one focuses in on those cases that are investigated. How long is it taking us to go from the very start to the very end? So that we have a sense of how long cases are taking. Some cases should take a long time. They're complex, they're detailed, there's lots of evidence and witnesses. But so that was that.
Yeah,
addition.
that was kind of my thinking is because you've got some that are just like nothing to investigate, and then you've got really complex ones that, is that gonna kind of skew your numbers there, I mean.
I think that's natural. I think that's to be expected. If anything, it feels like we can be able to demonstrate, and with like a mean and a median, right? It is kind of a measure of trust, right? Like things taking forever is a reason that the public is often disheartened in administrative proceedings. And so if we can talk about what that process looks like and the time this step actually takes.
I think the other thing is we'll be able to compare it to that length of investigation number. And so we'll be able to give a good, hey, from the time an investigation is referred to the commission, how long does discovery take or a settlement conference and the actual resolution? So.
All right.
Is it worth trying to track what portion of those are the result of requests for extension by the subject of the
How
investigation.
many?
Like the main factor as to the duration of time, should it be longer than the average?
Are you talking about the investigatory period?
We have both the investigatory period and getting to, you know, if you were ready to submit it and put it on the agenda today,
Right.
but the subject said, I can't attend today, I really want to attend, can we put it off to the next meeting? That's gonna add 30 days or almost 30 days to your
Right.
time. Is it worth tracking separately how much of the time
Is based on.
is attributable to requests for extension by the subject? I
Yeah,
don't know, I'm just,
Yeah, it's an interesting metric.
we can add that and see what it
it's,
says.
it's kind of a subset of that. As you said, that was one of the contributors to the backlog originally.
Yeah, I think, I mean, there was one that is famous in at least Commission Council Bassett's in my mind where there was like 12 extensions we gave the subject to turn in their response, you know, and it was. There was a cultural adjustment when I started and people were like, oh, can I have my third extension? And I said, no. Well, like, do your part. So, yeah, we can track that for sure, extension data.
We can consider that like kind of an adjusted metric.
Okay.
You have comments or questions?
And I like the additional ones that you added now that we have a education and outreach officer. Because it makes sense to track those things because we have somebody to do that work now. So.
And I assume that you're confident you're not gonna have any trouble keeping track of these things and.
No, of course, we get the new case management system, right?
Yeah.
Fix everything, but when we went through an internal process of staff to go through this and we cut some, you know, initial proposals out. We tried to weigh the time it takes to collect and get this data versus the usefulness of the data. And we wanted to zero in on data that is based on performance. There's some workload, like, you know, how much of the volume there is, but which data tells you if we're, you know, being efficient and, you know, getting the stuff done. Or, for example, you know, there's one on our legislative ones where last year we had like 62% of the advisory opinions issued within 60 days. 60 days is a pretty aggressive time period for an advisory opinion, but people need those answers quick. And so this helps us when we go to the legislative table next year and say, we need an AA3 to help with this workload because we want to get that number to 80%, right? We want to get, so that's where, you know, sometimes the data, when you look at it, we go, oh, like it helps us pinpoint where we may need extra resources to get the job done.
Any other questions or comments?
No,
All right, that then will bring us to item 13.
I want to
Sorry.
make a motion. I move to-
Oh, yes, we need a motion on that. You're right.
I move to approve the adjustments to the commission's internal performance measures as proposed.
Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Langton, moved by Vice Chair Wallen. All in favor?
I.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Ask Miranda if he wants. He didn't vote.
Commissioner Moran, should we show you as voting in the affirmative? We'll move on to item 13, Commissioner comments.
If I could, I have a comment.
Please, Commissioner Langton.
Since I won't be here at the next meeting, I'd like to thank Vice President Commissioner Wallen for everything she's done. All of her analysis, comments, have been very, very educational to me. And I really, really appreciate all of the input. I think your analysis is always spot on and your questions are always spot on. So I won't be able to be there next meeting, so I thought I'd put it on the record. I want to thank you. And also in the same process, Executive Director Ross has been exceptionally good in my opinion. And so I want to thank you and your staff very, very much. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But, you know, you gotta bring something back for Paris.
I might bring wine, but Sure.
Sounds good. Thank you. I just want to say welcome to our newest commissioner as well, Commissioner Pankos. I'd say I'm looking forward to working with you, but I only have one more month. So welcome to the team. It's a good team, and we've got an exceptional staff that will help you get acclimated and, hit the ground running. So welcome.
Yes, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. So, thank you.
Any other commissioner comments before we move on? All right, that brings us to item number 14, public comment. Executive Director Armstrong, have we received any public comment by email during the meeting to be read into the record?
We have not.
And Executive Assistant Saldana, do we have any members of the public who are attending virtually who want to provide public comment?
Elvira Saldana, for the record, there are currently no members of the public that are in Zoom.
Okay, and we have none here in person wanting to make public comment, so that should bring us to item 15, a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Wallen. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Miller. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Bye.
Any opposed? We are